Hello, my name is Sarah Miller. This is part 3 of the American Society for Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition's Multi-Chamber Bag Parenteral Nutrition video series. Part 3 will deal with preparation, labeling, and dispensing of these products. ASPEN does not endorse any one product over another that may be seen in this presentation. What are multi-chamber parenteral nutrition products? The ASPEN definition is a standardized, commercially available parenteral nutrition product available from a manufacturer. These products require fewer compounding steps before administration compared to traditional PN. Examples include multi-chamber bags containing concentrated amino acids that may or may not contain electrolytes added by the manufacturer, plus concentrated dextrose, and these products may contain or not contain lipid injectable emulsion. For ease and purposes of this video series, we will call these products Multi-Chamber Bag Parenteral Nutrition, or MCB-PN. We want to avoid the term pre-mixed, as mixing and additives are required. Some of these additives might be MVI and trace elements, which must be added to the bags, and also the multi-chamber bags that do not have electrolytes added by the manufacturer will need to have these added before administration. The parenteral nutrition use process has been defined by the ASPEN Parental Nutrition Safety Consensus Recommendations that were published in 2014. This segment of the video series will deal with the compounding, labeling, and dispensing portions of the MCB-PN process. In the United States, there are 2 manufacturers marketing these products. They come as 2-chamber or 3-chamber products. For the 2-chamber product, the outlet or infusion port chamber contains amino acids and electrolytes, the electrolytes if applicable. And the input or additive port chamber contains dextrose. This is for the 2-chamber bag. For the 3-chamber bag that's available in the United States, it's actually the opposite, in that the infusion port chamber contains dextrose and the additive port chamber contains amino acid. There have been some errors reported to ISMP associated with MCB-PN preparation, so it is very important that the seal is broken between chambers. There have been several reports of failure to break that seal, which then led to the administration of only half of the ingredients. In the case of the 2-chamber bag product, that meant that the concentrated amino acid and electrolytes were administered and no dextrose was administered. And also the multivitamins and trace minerals would not be administered in that setting. It is important that MCB-PN be prepared in the pharmacy. Competencies for PN preparation have been published by ASPEN, and some of these competencies will be the same for MCB-PN preparation, including identifying the correct product and the volume to meet the PN order, inspecting the product for any damage or deterioration prior to removing the overwrap, completely activating and agitating the product to mix all the components together, being able to identify inappropriate additives, making manual additives as ordered if they are appropriate, completely affixing a patient-specific and auxiliary label, and the proper storage of the product, typically refrigeration prior to delivery of the product. The MCB-PN product should be activated and additives added in a laminar flow hood in the pharmacy under conditions compliant with USP 797 regulations in an ISO Class 5 environment. Product-specific instructions for activating and mixing components in the chambers should be followed, and manufacturers do provide instruction including live training and videos for activation, mixing, and additives. In terms of MCB-PN preparation, it's preferable to dispense an MCB-PN bag volume that most closely approximates the daily volume required. For example, orders for MCB-PN should, if for example a 2-liter MCB-PN product is being utilized, an ordered rate of about 85 mils per hour would be ideal for a patient in whom the PN is running continuously over 24 hours a day, so that the entire bag is infused in a 24-hour period. In this case, it is also more appropriate to dispense 1 2-liter bag instead of 2 1-liter bags. Using MCB-PN with electrolytes added by the manufacturer rather than those extemporaneously added is also preferred when these electrolytes are appropriate for an individual patient, as it simplifies the preparation process. Electrolyte additions, especially calcium and phosphate, to the MCB-PN should be made in accordance with manufacturer recommendations. And adding IV lipid emulsion to a 2-chamber MCB-PN should be in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. This slide shows the standardized PN label for an adult patient. And as you see, there's some patient demographic information, and importantly, the macronutrients and micronutrients are listed on the label in amounts per day to be received by the patient. And also you see that the electrolytes are listed as the complete salt form rather than the individual ion. In terms of labeling considerations specifically for an MCB-PN, the label must match the PN order for both an MCB-PN and a compounded PN. For MCB-PN, the volume of the bag with additives should be noted on the label, and if the volume to be infused is different than the total volume of the bag, this should be noted on the label as well. The complete name of the MCB-PN product plus names and amounts of any additives should be listed on the label. So this is similar in terms of the labeling to the prescribing standard template that we saw on the previous slide, but it's not exactly the same. For MCB-PN that includes electrolytes, these will not be individually listed on the pharmacy-generated label. Any extemporaneously added electrolytes shall be listed as a complete salt form, similar to the more standard type of PN solutions. However, the amount of extemporaneously added electrolyte on the pharmacy label shall reflect the amount added to the bag, and this may or may not be the amount which is actually infused into the patient, depending on whether the entire bag is to be infused. For 2-chambered multi-chamber bag parenteral nutrition with no intravenous lipid emulsion added, the concentrations of dextrose and amino acid should be listed, as well as the commercial name of the product. These will reflect final concentrations, actual final concentrations in the bag before addition of any additives. If the intravenous lipid emulsion is added to the 2-chambered MCB-PN, then concentrations of dextrose and amino acids again should be listed, and the name of the product should be listed. These will reflect the actual final concentrations in the bag before addition of any additives, and the amount of ILE should be added as a separate item. And again, when adding ILE, the amount on the label is the amount added, and it may not be the amount administered to the patient if the entire bag is not infused. For 3-chambered MCB-PN, concentrations of dextrose, amino acid, and lipid will be listed, as will the name of the product, the commercial name. These will reflect the actual final concentrations in the bag before addition of any additives. In terms of storage of MCB-PN, these should be used immediately after introduction of additives, but if they're not used immediately, then the manufacturer's product-specific information on storage conditions should be consulted. In summary, preparing MCB-PN requires special techniques to activate and mix the chambers. Manufacturers provide instructions, including videos, on how to activate and mix their MCB-PN products. Labeling MCB-PN requires deviation from the standardized label format, in order to provide product-specific and PN-specific information to best describe nutrient delivery. And finally, manufacturers of MCB-PN products provide information on optimal storage of their products. Here's some references that are relevant to this segment of the video series. And finally, we would like to acknowledge that this educational offering was provided to you by ASPEN, supported by an educational grant provided by Fresenius Kabi. Thank you and have a nice day.